Hello everyone and welcome to today's TV4Education teacher training. My name is Abby and I'll be taking you through the basics of TV4Education today. So we'll be going through all the different categories on TV4Education, how to search through these categories, how to register your interest areas to tailor the content to you, how to search lessons as well as YouTube, how to save all of this content to your My Items and your school collection, how to share all of that content with your students, as well as how to request both Freetoair and Foxtel, as well as topic requests with our research team. If you have any questions for me at any point, just pop them in the chat to my right and I'll do my best to get to them as soon as I can. So with all that said, I'll start with today's training. So we start on the TV4Education homepage. So as you can see, there is numerous different categories on our homepage that I'll take you through right now. So the first one that comes up is the recently added category. So obviously this is all the content that has been most recently added to TV4Education. So you can scroll through like this. So this is all content that has been requested by teachers from all different schools around the country, as well as content that has been added by our TV4Education research team based on the Australian curriculum. So if you have a scroll through like this, you can see all the most recently added, or if you want to see a bit more than that, you can click View All, and you will be able to see all of the most recently added content. If you just bear with me, my computer's deciding it wants to be slow today. There we are, it's decided it wants to work with me now. So now you'll be able to see all of the most recently added content to TV4Ed, and you can scroll down as far as you would like. Everything with this little CC button here means that it has been recorded with captions. Everything without isn't recorded with captions. And you can see the information like what channel it was aired on, whether it's HD or not, which most of our recent content is, and so on and so forth. So if you click on a video, it will automatically play for you. The information button will come up with things like what date it was aired, the channel, and how long the program is. So you can pause, you can flick through the program as far as you would like. You can mute and unmute down here. You can make it full screen and so on and so forth. So if this is a program that you think would be relevant to you and relevant to your students, you just go up here to this little star icon, you'll click it, it'll do a little spin, and then a pop-up will come up telling you that it has been added to your My Items, which I'll show you how to access that in a moment once I've gone through all of the different categories. So the next category under the recently added tab is LearningTube. So LearningTube is a list of videos that have been curated by our TV4Education research team that are all educational and based on the Australian curriculum. They're usually short, maybe 5 minutes to half an hour. You won't find anything that's 2 hours long in here. They're relatively short videos, so less than an hour long, maybe about half an hour. So you can scroll through there to your liking. And you can also click View All as well to see a list of all of the recent LearningTube content. Just down from there, we have documentaries and movies. So like recently added, pretty self-explanatory. All of the most recently added documentaries that have been added to TV4Ed will automatically go in this documentary tab, and same with the movies. And again, you can click View All and see all the most recently added content that is documentaries and movies. So these are their own categories because they are the most recently requested kind of content for TV4Ed above other things such as news programs, TV series, etc., etc. So they've got their own scrollers. So you can go through all the recent documentaries just to see if there's anything recently added that you think would be interesting to you. So going down from there, we have curated YouTube and YouTube. So the difference between these two is that YouTube is just you are able to search through any content that is currently available on YouTube through TV4Education. and curated YouTube is the same, except that the content has been curated by our TV4Education research team, meaning that all the content there will be educational and based on the curriculum, so there won't be anything inappropriate or distracting. And the last section we have that below is lessons, which I'll show you how to go through in a minute. So you can access these tabs up here as well. If you click TV4Education, you'll get all the most recently added. If you click YouTube, you'll be able to see YouTube and curated YouTube, and same with lessons, which I'll go through in a second. So searching YouTube is just the same as searching through TV4Education. You'll get both curated and normal YouTube here. You can click on any of the videos. It works exactly the same as TV4Education. The video will automatically play for you. The information will come up. You can click up here to get the information back if you want. You can make it full screen down here. If the video is available with captions on YouTube, you can click those on and off down here at this little tab. And then this button here, you can turn on and off the annotations, change the playback speed, the subtitles, and the quality of the video as well, just the same as you would on YouTube. And you can mute and unmute down here as well. You've also got the extra YouTube buttons up here. So clicking share here shares this video the same as if you clicked the share button on YouTube, and same with watch later. I'm currently logged in as Abby Thorpe on YouTube. So if I clicked watch later, it would save it to the watch later list on my YouTube. Let's say if I wanted to watch this outside of TV4Education. Something to note with all our YouTube videos, they play from a blank screen. So if you're playing this to your students in class, no ads will pop up on before or in the middle of the video that could be inappropriate or distracting. And say if you want to share this content with your students to watch over the weekend, they won't be able to access the comments or anything like that, which might be distracting or inappropriate again. So saving this to your My Items, exactly the same as any TV4Ed video. You just click the star up here, does a little twirl, and it adds it automatically to your My Items, and you don't need to do anything else. So if you want to search for, say that was a crash course literature video, if you want to search through YouTube, you just click the YouTube tab up here, and then you just search as you would in normal TV4Ed. And there you go, it comes up with all the crash course literature available on both YouTube and curated YouTube. In this case, this is an educational series, so pretty much all of the episodes of this series will be available on both curated and non-curated YouTube. But in other instances where it might not be something that's obviously educational, you'll get both sections. So if you can't find something in curated YouTube that you need, you just scroll down here to YouTube and you can find it that way. So moving on to lessons now. As you see, I've still got crash course literature typed in up here, meaning that it's come up with the lessons that are relevant to that. So if I get rid of that and just have, I didn't get rid of it all. As you can see, there's more videos coming up, more lessons coming up, sorry. If you just click lessons with no search, it'll come up with all the lessons that we have. So the lessons are color coded, aside from the ones that the covers aren't showing. I believe my internet is a bit slow, so they're not popping up for me right now. But there's 3 different kinds of smart lessons that I'll take you through. So these blue ones here are all resource lists. So these are smart lessons that don't have any questions. It's just a list of resources for you. So these are all things that have been created by our TV4Education research team, either based on requests submitted by teachers, or they are extra things created from the Australian curriculum. Let's say if we're getting a lot of requests for certain kinds of content and we think adding a resource list to TV4Ed would be beneficial, we go to the curriculum, find the curriculum code, and then base it off of that. So if you go to this one here called short narrative construction, perhaps your literature students are writing short stories based on the novel that they're currently reading. That's something that I did when I studied literature. So you think that this could be relevant to them. You click on it, it comes up with the day it was added, the description, etc. And then the same as all the video content, you just click add to my library and it will automatically add it to your My Items and school collection as well. And you'll be able to view all of the content later on when I go to My Items and show you how to access all the things that we've been saving thus far. So the second kind of smart lesson that we have are the ones with the purple covers. So these ones are study guides. So these consist of the documentary or film, or just the video that the study guide is based off of. In this case, it's a documentary, as well as the Atom study guide to go along with that. So these are a great resource if you're a teacher that likes to teach from study guides. You can download these study guides onto your computer, you can print them off and do it however you want, and you can have it while you're watching the documentary as well. So same as everything else, you just click add to my library and it will automatically add for you. So the third kind of smart lesson that we have, and probably our most popular kind of smart lesson, are the video lessons. So the ones with the green covers are the video lessons. So what these are a list of videos, both TV4Education and maybe YouTube in some instances, around about 5 videos maybe, based on a particular topic, either created by our team from the Australian curriculum or created from a request from a teacher. So this one in particular is a request from a teacher that's found a video on how to make a sock bunny that she wants to teach her students. So we've added that video as well as a list of questions on how to create the sock bunny. And once again, it's got the description and so on with the different subjects, and in different cases it will have the year level as well. So a lot of our ancient history lessons will have specify, let me have a look, I'll find one for you. So if you click on this Cleopatra lesson, which should have a blue cover, but my internet's being a bit slow, it will come up letting you know that this is for Year 11 Ancient History students, and also it will tell you the rating of the content in here. So the highest rated video in here is rated M, so it'll let you know that. And it will also let you know things like the content warnings for Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people, letting you know that it contains voices and images of people that have died. If there's documentaries in there like that, that will also come up here along with the content warnings as well. So this lesson was created by me actually, based on the Australian curriculum, going through the ancient history VCE on the Australian curriculum, where this was one of the curriculum codes. So this lesson will contain about 5 videos with usually our lessons contain about 5 to 10 questions. So these are pretty simple questions based on the videos in the lessons. So they're multiple choice questions, they're yes and no questions, and missing word questions as well. So they'll all be based on the video. So let's say at the start of the first video in this, it says whatever year Cleopatra was born. So if your students are watching this in class and they are listening and paying attention to the documentary as they should be, they'll hear that, and they'll be able to see that there's a multiple choice question asking what year it was that Cleopatra was born, and they'll be able to tick the correct answer there. So those are our video lessons. You can submit these yourself if you want a short video lesson for your students. You can submit them yourself, or you can go to lessons and have a search through. So let's say your students are studying Cleopatra at the moment, you can have a search through and see we already have a couple of smart lessons on her, and you can just add them to your collection from there. Or if you find something else that you want a smart lesson on, or if you want it for a different class grade or whatever the case may be, you can submit a topic request later with us and we can create that for you. That's the last thing I'll be taking you through in this session, so I'll show you how to do that in a minute. Once again, if anyone has any questions on any of that, any of the categories I've just gone through, or any of the smart lessons, or how to add them to your items, the different categories of smart lessons, so on and so forth, pop them in the chat to my right and I'll get to them as I am going through. So we've gone through the homepage of TV4Ed, we've gone through the recently added, which is this tab here, we've gone through lessons, and we've also gone through YouTube. So we have 2 others to go through, which are subjects and interests. So subjects, this is if you want to search through TV4Education, not based on a title, but maybe just based on a subject. You're just thinking, what documentaries could I give to my students while they're studying for their exams, or maybe they're currently writing essays and you think you want to provide them with some content, you can search from here. So it comes up with all the different subjects that you can search from. You can also search from genre, so you can, if you just want to search for documentaries, you can do that way. Or if you're looking for musicals, maybe if you're a drama teacher or a music teacher, you can do it that way as well. So let's say you are a drama teacher and you want to look at some musicals. You can click musical. Nothing's come up because I've still got Cleopatra in the search bar. But if I get rid of that, whoops, I need to go to the home page. I've forgotten to get out of the lessons. So I go down to genres again and I go to musical, and it will come up with all of the musicals available on TV4Ed. So these will be live musicals, like as you can see, the Australian Ballet, you've got live plays here. It'll also be films that are musicals as well. We've got Eurovision on here. So it'll be live concerts, live plays, live musicals, live dance performances, as well as movies that are musicals as well. So as you can see Meet Me in St. Louis here. So as I said, you can click on it, add it to your collection like that. So that's how you search through subjects. Another way to do this as well is, let's say you've just happened to find Meet Me in St. Louis on TV4Ed, and you can see it's been tagged with all the different audiences as well as all the different subjects. So we've got the genres down here, so movie, musical. You've got the subjects, so English, house, history, media, arts, music, etc. And then you've got the audience of higher education, primary, etc. So let's say you were looking for history content. You can actually click on this category here in the video, and it will come up with all the history content on TV4Ed that you can search through. So that's the two ways that you can search through subjects, both through looking for it as intended, and if you just happen to see it on video and you want to see what other content has been tagged with that. So the last section we have here are the interest areas. So if you click on this here, this pop-up will come up. Now, if you're a new user to TV4Ed and you haven't selected your interest areas, this pop-up will come up every single time you log into TV4Ed. And it's just asking you to register your interest areas so that when you search through TV4Ed, the content will be tailored to you. So if you're a secondary teacher and you don't want to see any content from primary that's been tagged as primary because it's not relevant to you, it's not relevant to your students, you can click secondary, and when you search through TV4Ed, it will recommend you all of the secondary content. Goes the same with subjects. So let's say you're an English teacher, you don't want to see maths content or technologies content, it's not relevant to you. You can click on and off English, you can click arts as well if you think that would be relevant, and you can click languages as well if you think that would be relevant also. There's no need to save, as you click on and off them, it automatically saves for you and you don't need to worry about that. So when you click close, it's automatically saved and there's no issues. After you've done this, once you log into TV4Ed, this pop-up will no longer come up on your screen. But if you do want to change your interest areas, there's no issues. You just go to this button that I clicked before and it will come up again for you. You can change them as often as you like and as many times as you would like. So let's say you don't think languages is relevant to you anymore, you can click off it and then it will automatically save. And once you close, it will tailor the content once again. So that's all of the categories up here, as well as all of the different categories that you can scroll down and find on TV4Ed. You can also do an advanced search in TV4Ed. So let's say you can search history as the subject, you can search the media type, you can search the classification if you only want G-rated content, you can request a specific channel that it was aired on, so on and so forth. So you can do that here and that will tailor the search to you much more accurately than just searching blindly from the top. So if you just search here in TV4Ed, so that was all the categories we've gone through. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll move on to searching through TV4Ed now. So we've already gone through how to search through YouTube, so this should be pretty self-explanatory. I'll just go through these different categories down here. So if you search, it will default to Smart Search as you log in and if you refresh. So if you search from Smart Search, you're not just searching for the title, you're searching, this will search through the title, the description, the channel, what it's been tagged with as well, what subjects, etc. So if you're wanting to search for content on autism, let's say, when you do that, all the content that's related to autism will come up. So as you can see, this episode of You Can't Ask, that has come up because it's in the title. Love on the Spectrum has come up because it's in the description, and same with this episode of The Drum, and all different things. If it's been tagged as having content related to the studies of autism, it will come up as well. then if you go to title here and then click search again, it will only come up with the content that has autism in the title. So as you can see, that drama episode didn't come up again, Love on the Spectrum didn't come up again. It's just content that has the word autism in the title. So this is good if you're searching for a particular documentary or a particular movie. Let's say you're looking for the movie Aliens. If you just search that through Smart Search, it will come up with all the content related to aliens in the description and so on and so forth. Whereas if you click title, it will just come up with content that has aliens in the title of the video, so you'll be able to find that video much quicker. We have a subject search again, and then an author and a series search, which work just the same as the title search. It just searches from the author and the series title as well. So that's how to search through TV4Ed. One thing I will say before I move on to the My Items and School Collection and sharing content with your students is that always search through TV4Education for the content that you want before requesting it with us through the requests, which I'll show you how to do later. So if there's something, you're a new user to TV4Ed, so you have nothing in your My Items yet, make sure you search for the content that you want first before requesting it with us, because there's every possibility we will already have it. And if you search it yourself, you can immediately find it, and then you can add it to your My Items as I showed you before with the little star, and then you can either play it to your classroom or share it to your students, which I'll show you how to do in a minute. So you'll automatically have the content. Whereas if you don't look first, and we actually do have the content and you request it with us, you'll have to wait for us to receive the request and then respond to you, which is usually about a 48-hour time frame. And we might already have the content and you could have gotten it in immediately rather than waiting within 48 hours. So always make sure you look first, even things that you think might not be educational, so we won't have it, we might have, because there's a lot of teachers that teach the same content from the same curriculum codes. So something like, let's say the Brady Bunch, you think we might not have that because it's not educational, but this is a resource that's used by media teachers. There's a curriculum code in the curriculum where students study how television sitcoms are a reflection of the decade that they were made in and how they reflect the values of society at that time. So because of that, we actually have quite a few episodes of the Brady Bunch that has been requested by teachers. There was one teacher in particular, I remember, who requested a whole range of videos so that he could go through all the episodes and decide which one would be best for his students to analyze. So always have a look first. If you look and you see it, you can automatically add it and share it rather than waiting for us until you get the content to you. So now that we've gone through searching, I'll go through how to access your My Items and School Collection, as well as how to share content with your students. So it doesn't look like we have any questions, so I'll move on to the next category. So to access your My Items, you just go to the My Items button up here, and it will take you to your My Items. So this is a list of everything you've saved on TV4Ed, so you can scroll through and see it. And to watch the videos, you just click on them, and just like TV4Ed, it will automatically play for you. The descriptions will come up, and you can make it full screen, you can mute it, so on and so forth, and you can scroll through. And there's no issues with that at all. Now with the lessons, so this was a resource list that we saved before, so if we click on it, it will take you to the lesson and you'll be able to see all of the resources that are in this resource list here. So here's a link to an article, and then we've got a bunch of YouTube videos and TV4Ed videos here. So that's how you access the Smart Lessons once you've saved them. So you've got these little tabs here. So currently these are all popped up, which means it's showing me all the content I've saved. If I click TV4Ed, it will get rid of all of the TV4Ed content there. So now it's just showing me Smart Lessons and the YouTube content that I've saved. And if I click it again, it'll pop back out and I can see it. So if I do the same with YouTube and lessons, now it's just showing me all the TV4Ed content that I've saved. So that's how, if you're looking for something in particular, you can quickly filter it that way. You can also click the filter button up here, filter it by date, title, ascending or descending order, and you can have a list view or a picture view, whatever's easier for you. You can also do a keyword search up here if you're looking for something in particular. So if I look for business, it just comes up with the episode of the business that I saved earlier. So if you've saved some things to your My Items that you don't think are relevant to you anymore, you can get rid of them just by clicking this little bin icon here, and now it's got rid of that smart lesson for me. And you can add them back as many times as you want. You can delete them as many times as you want. There's no issues. So before I go on to how to share this content with your students, I will show you your school's collection. So you just click My School Collection up there, and it will take you to the school's collection. So the difference between this and My Items is all the content that you've personally added while you've been going through TV4Ed, whereas the school collection is all of the content that all of the teachers and staff at your school have added to TV4Ed. So if you want to see what your fellow teachers are teaching, you can scroll through and see it like that. And you can click on the videos, they play automatically. You can add them to your My Items from here. You can share them from here. It works all the same. You can make them full screen, etc. You can change the view here if you want a different view, if you want a list view like that, if you think that's sort of easier to look at. And you can also search through here through your school collection, and it's got the title and the subject and the author in the series searches as well for you. So going back to My Items, now that we've covered the school collection, I'll go through how to share the content with your students. So let's say you are a drama teacher, maybe your students are putting on a production of Meet Me in St. Louis. You can share this with your students if you think this will help them memorize lines, or if you think the students that are doing the backstage work, like the blocking and the sets and whatnot, could get something out of this. You click on the video in your My Items, and you can also do this straight from TV4Ed as well. You don't have to go to your My Items. And you go to the button underneath the star button I showed you before, and it's this share button here. So once you click it, the share page will come up for you. So it's got two little categories for you to select. So let's say it's your VCE theatre study students that are putting on this production. You can share it with them. So make sure to click the lowest class grade that you want to show it to. So let's say you've got a combined class of year 11s and 12s. Make sure you don't click year 12, because then the year 11s won't be able to view this content. If you click year 11s, it will show it to year 11s and above, meaning that both year 11s and year 12s can see it. So you click year 11, and then you have a link expiry. So let's say you want them to see it for the rest of the year because they're showing their production of Meet Me in St. Louis at the end of the year. You can say the production starts on the 25th, so you can say the link should expire on the 24th. Or maybe they've got some kind of outcome on how to adapt the film to a stage play, and the outcome is on Monday, so you want them to watch this at home or in their study periods and make notes. So currently it is the 3rd of, not July, June. I thought it was Saturday for a second, got excited. So it's Thursday right now, Thursday the 3rd. So their outcome is on the Monday. So you can say you want this link to expire on Sunday because you want them to make all of their notes before then. You can do that as well. So the expiry date can be as far forward as you want or as close to the current date as you want. So once you've submitted those two categories, it will automatically create your share link for you that you can share with your students so that they can watch the movie. It also gives you an embed code if you want to embed it into your school's learning management system, if you think that will be easier for you and your students. And it also gives you a QR code if you want to share it that way, if you're a more tech-savvy teacher. So that's how to share with your students. Now that we've gone through the My Items and the school collection, and how to save it, how to play it from the school collection and My Items, and how to share all that content with your students, I'll move on to requesting in TV4Ed. So if anyone has any questions about anything I've currently gone through, pop them in the chat and I'll answer them before I move on to requesting. So I'll just refresh here. So it doesn't look like anyone has any questions for me, so I think I'm happy to move on to requesting for you. If at any point you do have any more questions, just let me know. I'll make sure after I'm done with requesting, I'll read them and I'll answer them before I sign off today. So you've had a look through TV4Ed, you can't find the documentary or the film or the TV series that you want to show to your students, so you need to request it with us. There's no issues at all. You just go up to this little button up here with 3 lines, and then once you've done that, you go down to Mailbox. So you can see this is automatically taking me to support tickets. So make sure you don't create a support ticket if you're requesting something for TV4Ed, because this will create a support ticket that goes to our support team and not a TV4Ed request that goes to our TV4Ed research team. So just click TV4Ed requests, and here you can see all of the previous requests that you've made, and you can see the status as well. So you can see this one's been completed. We've got the content to you. The ones that say, oh, all of these are completed. Let's go down a bit and see if we can find some with some other categories. There we are. So this one says scheduled, which means that this is a program that we have scheduled for recording, so it automatically records once it is available. This one says named, which means that the content has been edited and it's currently uploading for you. And there's also one, I saw one before that said new. So this one is new, so that means you've just requested it and we haven't got to it yet. And if it says assigned, it means it's been assigned to one of our TV4Ed team, and it will be within, to you within about 48 hours. So you can go through all of these, and if you have received your content, it will come up here. So we've recorded your content, we've uploaded it to TV4Ed, so you've got this little message, so you can play it directly from here, or you can add it to your My Items from here as well. And you get messages for every stage that your request is in. So this is all the information that you submitted with your request. It lets you know when it's been assigned, when it's been scheduled, when it's been edited, and then obviously when it's uploaded as well. And if at any point you want to let us know anything, you can type in this little chat box here, and then you can send it to us with this little paper plane, and we'll be able to see your comment and get back to you. So that's how you can view all of your previously requested content. You can also filter it up here. So if you can filter it by category and whatnot. So if I just wanted to see all the new requests, see now I just see all the new requests that haven't been assigned yet. So I don't see all of the requests that have already been completed. And you've also got markers red, markers unread buttons here as well. So you want to make a new request. So you just go to this button here, make a request, and it gives you 3 options. So Freetoair Requests are for any free-to-air program that's airing in the future or that has aired within the last 90 days. So we keep all of our free-to-air video files from the last 90 days. So if a program aired, let's say 2 months ago, you can still get it with us. If you are outside this 90-day period, still request with us, it's fine. Just know to be guaranteed the program, it needs to be within the last 90 days, but we will still do our best to get the content to you if we can. Premium channels is for any Foxtel channels that you want to request from. Note that with the Foxtel channels, we do require 48 hours prior for the request to be submitted. So if it's airing on Friday at 2 p.m, you're required to submit the request by Wednesday 2 p.m. If you are over this time frame, don't worry, we'll still do our best to get the content to you. Just note that to be guaranteed the program, like with the free-to-air, it needs to be within 48 hours. And then the topic request is if you're not after a specific kind of video or based on the Australian, not on the curriculum, based on the TV guide, sorry. It's if you're after, you're teaching a specific topic to your students and you want a list of videos, or if you want a smart lesson, you would request it through here as well. You can also request specific content that you can't request anywhere else. So let's say it's a program that's not airing on Freetoair in the future, it hasn't aired in the last 90 days, or recently at all, it's not airing on Foxtel in the future, and you're not sure if you can get it anywhere. You can, but you still want to see if we're able to get it for you, you can submit that as a topic request. Make sure to only do that in those specific circumstances with specific videos. In any other circumstance, make sure you request it in the correct free-to-air and Foxtel categories. This makes it easier on us, it makes it easier on our system, and it means if everything's done correctly, we can get the content to you as quickly as we possibly can. So now that we've gone through all the different kinds of requests, I'll show you how to actually make a request. So if you're requesting a free-to-air program, you can click Freetoair Request, and it will come up with all the channels that you can request from. If you see a channel here that, if you don't see a channel here that you want to request from, don't stress, just select another channel. We always check the channels, we always check the times and the titles, etc. So we always make sure we get the correct content to you. Just select another channel and we'll make sure that we get it to you. So let's say you're wanting to request something from SBS. You click SBS. Now, everything with these little red stars are things that you have to fill out in order for your request to go through. So obviously the series number and episode date don't have that because obviously if you're requesting a film or a standalone documentary, it won't have that. So let's say your students are currently reading The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood and season 4 is currently airing on SBS. You can request it with us here. And make sure with the series to request episode by episode. This makes it easier on our system. It means we can get the episodes to you quicker. So make sure you're basing it on the TV guide and you're requesting each specific episode separately. So in the program title, obviously you would write I can't spell today. Handmaid's Tale. And you can also put the episode title in there as well if you know it, but you don't have to. Season, it's series 4 at the minute. I can't remember what episode they're up to at the moment, but let's say episode 8. I don't have the TV guide in front of me, but if you do, you can pop that in. If you don't know the specific series number and episode, don't stress. As I said, it's not a requirement. It just makes it easier on us. Still submit the request anyway, and we'll always check which episode is airing at that time and make sure it's labeled correctly for you. The start date, I believe it actually might be airing tonight. I could be wrong on that. I don't have the guide in front of me, but let's say I do and I know that it is airing tonight. You can click the 3rd of the 6th and then you can put the time that it is airing in. Please note this is in 24-hour time, so let's say if it is airing at 9 o'clock, if you just click the 9, it will schedule it on our end for 9 a.m. So make sure you scroll down and you click the 21, which is 9 o'clock in 24-hour time. If you do this wrong, there's no stress. As I said, we'll recognize that and we'll be able to change the request for you so that it is recorded at the correct time. And you can also let us know if you want with that little chat box I was showing you before. That'll send us a message letting you know you've made an error and this is when it's actually airing. And you can do that with any errors or just any extra information you want to let us know. The duration, let's say it goes for 60 minutes. Make sure I put in the minutes as well. And then the last thing to do with these requests is tick whether you want them closed captioned or not. So if you click this box, let's say we do want it because we've got hard of hearing students or students with English as their second language, or you just think you want captions on because it improves literacy, you can click that box there. And now if this program is airing with captions, we will make sure to get it to you with captions. Some things aren't available with captions currently, and in that case we can't get it to you with captions. And in those specific cases, which are very rare because the vast majority of things on Freetoair and Foxtel currently are available with captions. So if they're available with captions, we'll get it to you with that. But in the rare case where something isn't, we'll let you know that. We'll give you the program without captions and we'll add it to our recording list, which we check every day. It's a list of programs that we aren't currently available to get or aren't able to get with captions. And we check it every day, and when something is airing or is available with captions, we can add it for you later on when it becomes available. So you filled out everything correctly, you just click submit and it will submit the request for you, and it comes up with all the information you've submitted. So if you see that and it's all correct, it's all good. If you realize you've put the time in wrong or something, you can let us know here, but as I said, there's no stress about doing that. So once this has been assigned and scheduled and uploaded and edited and whatnot, you'll get the little automatic messages letting you know. If you request it before the 90-day cutoff period, as I mentioned before, a little pop-up will come up as you submit it, just letting you know. Just letting you know that it is outside of the range where we keep our free-to-air files, but we'll still do our best to get it to you. So don't panic if you get that. It's just letting you know that you might not be guaranteed the program, but we'll still do our very best to get it for you. And in a lot of cases, we can still get it for you from other sources. So now that we've done a free-to-air request, we'll go to how to do a Foxtel request, which works much the same. Obviously, it's a different channel list that comes up. Again, if you want a channel that isn't showing up here, don't stress, you can put in another channel and we'll make sure we get it to you. So let's say you want something from NHK World Japan for your Japanese students. You can click on that and submit it that way. So let's say you want Japan Easy, which is a show that teaches you how to speak Japanese, I believe. Let's say they're up to episode 15 of 2021 right now. If you have the TV guide up in front of you, obviously you will know all this. I'm just guessing because I don't have the TV guide in front of me, and these are just test requests I'm putting in right now, so I don't need to stress about our system getting confused. Let's say it's airing tomorrow, you click the 4th, and then like before you put the time in. Let's say it's airing at 5 o'clock in the morning, you put that in, goes for 15 minutes, you pop that in, and then you click whether you want captions or not. In this case, it's most of the things on NHK World Japan already have captions because they're in Japanese, and so they automatically have English captions, so I won't ask for captions this time. Then I just click submit like I did before. So this is an example of the message that comes up if you're not within the 48-hour time frame. It's a similar one that will come up if with the 90-day time frame for the Freetoair requests as well. Obviously the Freetoair one is worded a bit different, but it's basically the same thing. So it's just letting you know that you aren't within the 48-hour notice. As I said before, don't stress too much. We'll still work our best to get the program to you. It just means that you're not guaranteed the program if you did it within 48 hours notice. If you do see that maybe there's another airing of it, if it's airing again in 3 days, you don't need to submit another request with us. We will see this request and we'll see that it's airing again, so we'll just push the request back to when it's airing again if we haven't been able to get it the first time. So you don't need to submit another request with us. We'll automatically do that for you. If you want to let us know, you can just let us know down here and say airing again in 3 days or whatever it is that you want to let us know. So that's how to make Freetoair and Foxtel requests. So next up, I'll show you how to make a topic request, which is a bit different from the previous two. So as you can see, it's a little bit different. The only one that has the red star is the subject, so you need to make sure you put that in for us. So let's say it's for literature students, you can let us know, and then you can also let us know maybe it's VCE literature as well if you want. In the target age group, you can either put how old the students are. So if they're Year 12 students, you can say it's 17 to 18, or you can put the class grade, so you can put Year 12. So in this case, I'll put Year 12. And then you can put both if you want as well. But as I said, you don't actually even need to fill that section out. That's just if you want to be detailed so we can get the correct content to you. You can also put the curriculum code in as well. If you've got the Australian curriculum up with you, you can copy and paste it in here. That's not necessary. It's just if you want something very specific, you can do that so we can get the right kind of content to you. And then let's say in lesson aims, let's say novel to film adaptation analysis, let's say, if that's what your students are studying. So let's say your students are currently reading 1984. In the additional information box, you can be as detailed as you want to let us know what kind of content you're after. So you can say 1984 novel to film analysis. So you can say that you want a video lesson on this if you want. So you can say video lesson 10 multiple choice questions, please, with YouTube videos. So you can be as detailed as you want in the additional information box. If you don't want a smart lesson, you don't want a resource list or a video lesson or anything like that, you can just say that you just want us to provide you with a list of videos. So a list of TV4Ed videos or YouTube videos or whatever it is. So you can be as detailed as you want in there, and we'll be able to get the content that you need. So once you've filled that out, you're happy with that, you can click submit, and it again comes up with all the information that you have submitted. If at any point you want to add something, you want to let us know anything, you can just type it in here and let us know. So you can also say that you don't need the questions anymore, maybe you already have some questions you want to show your students, and you just want a resource list now. You can let us know, can I just have this without the questions, please, and as a resource list. So you can do this for anything. Let's say you've said you want 10 questions and now you actually want 20. You can say, actually I would like 20 questions, please. Very bad grammar by me there, which is funny considering I'm labeling this as a literature request, but that's okay. So you can click the little plane and that lets us know, and then we can, before we give you the lesson, we can tailor it to what you've changed. As I said before, the only other way to use a topic request is for content that you can't request anywhere else. So you can't request it as Freetoair or Foxtel. So there's a specific film you're after that isn't airing anytime in the future. You can't see anywhere where it's aired in the past. You don't know if it's even aired on Freetoair or Foxtel before, but you still want to just have it, just see if we can get it for you. You can submit that as a topic request, but make sure to only do that for these kinds of programs. If it's a program that's currently airing or has very recently aired, please put them in as the correct kind of requests. It makes it easier for us, our system, and it makes sure that you get the correct content as quickly as possible if you submit them correctly with as much detail as you're able to provide us. So those are the 3 different kinds of requests that you can submit with us. That's the last category I have to go through today. So if you have any questions on the requests or anything else I've gone through today, pop them in the chat and I'll read them before I sign off for you today. So that is our TV4Education teacher training for today. So I hope you got a lot out of this session. Today we went through all the different categories on TV4Ed, how to search through all of these, how to add all of the content to your My Items, how to search through your My Items and your school collection, and how to share all of that content with your students, as well as how to request content with us, both Freetoair and Foxtel, as well as the 2 different kinds of topic requests that you can submit. So it doesn't look like anyone has any questions for me. So with that, I'll sign off for today. If you missed this session or if you came halfway through, don't stress. All of our YouTube lives are uploaded to our YouTube channel afterwards. And you can also see all of the previous live streams that we've done, as well as some other content if you go to Functional Solutions on YouTube. And if you want to be notified when we go live or when we upload a new video, you can click the subscribe button, and if you hit the little bell, you'll get notifications whenever we go live. So you can be here as soon as we start and you don't have to go back and watch later. You can also follow us on our other social media, such as Twitter and Facebook and Instagram for updates on all things going on with TV4Education. So I hope everyone has a great day, and I hope you got a lot out of this lesson. And I'll see you next week for the next TV4Education teacher training. Bye everyone.